Hi, this is Dr. Wansoo. I'm an associate professor at the Department of Family and Community Medicine at Meharry Medical College, Nashville, Tennessee, United States. I'm also executive director at Community Mapping Center in Seoul, South Korea. Today I'm going to talk about the community mapping, especially focus on the education and engagement and empowerment. This is a map that I did with the high school students in Bernard Township in New Jersey. So as you can see, the green dot shows the deers that is alive. The students found out and they just took a photo, and then blue dot deer that got killed on the street or on the road. So students collect this data and then map it, and if you can look at the pattern, you can see where the concentration of the blue dots. And you can see, oh, that area might need some attention, and then they can have a meeting, and then they can say, oh, maybe we should put there some warning signs, or we can make the traffic speed like lower than the normal, or we can maybe like hit a wall or something like that, right? So this is like one example, right, that how many students or citizens can collect the data and then identify issues, and that they are trying to solve the issues what they find out. This is one example of my students that splattered all over the road. The blood extended about half a mile. I wish I had a picture, right? Now, during the COVID era, this is in Nashville, Tennessee. This is where I am, and this color represent where populations who are vulnerable during the COVID-19. There's a lot of people are doing the remote work, but there's a certain job they cannot simply do the remote work, such as food and then personal care and sales and related occupation or transportations. So this is the pattern of where they are, and then this is where COVID confirmed case, right? Active case. So if you overlay them, you can see they kind of show the similar pattern. So GIS, the mapping, is a good way of using to develop the hypothesis and try to see the different data. And this map shows the years of potential life loss before age 75. So basically the darker color, the average life is much shorter than the lighter color. So this is Mississippi rivers, and then this is Appalachian, right? And depends on where you live. Actually, you'll be surprised. There is almost 20 years of the difference of your years of potential life, the loss. So why it is happening? It's because what kind of air you are breathing, what kind of water you are drinking, or what kind of stress you have, or how close you are, from the park, or when you get heart attack, how close the emergency room, or emergency, the hospitals and all those. So a person becoming sick or even died is not just the illness or virus, but it's related with all different kind of the variable, right? So if you look at this one, the diabetes incidence rate, right, it shows almost similar pattern, and obesity shows a similar pattern. Of course, you have to do a little more serious statistic, and then insufficient sleep of adult. We don't know whether people couldn't sleep because they are sick, or they don't sleep and that's why they become sick, right? But it requires a lot of the analysis. But mapping is really powerful too. So GIS, Geographic Information System, it's a computer information system for capturing, storing, querying, analyzing, and displaying location-based data. So there's a component of the GIS, hardware, software, data, people, and process. In 1990, until 1990, this hardware, software, data, everything was so expensive and difficult. Like it was not that easy to use this kind of tool, for small organization or individual to use it. But nowadays, like with the smartphone, there's like tons of things that you can do. You have access to the Google Map, you have a software, and you can collect the data, or you can access the data. And then the process becomes much easier, and then people are aware about this kind of technology. So community mapping. What is community mapping? Community mapping is defined as using mapping technology to identify, understand, analyze, resolve, disseminate community issues with the explicit intention of education, engagement, and empowerment. Basically, you use mapping technology, try to identify, and then, analyze, and then like find the information. But there's a process, mapping. During the process of collecting data, you try to educate, like, those participants educated about the subject, and then they are engaged, and then they are empowered. So like during the community mapping, there's an efficiency, effectiveness, and equity. I will show as an example, but like with the mapping in the public area, like you can collect the data more effectively and then efficiently and resolve the issues, and then you can also assess the equity issues too. But from the process, those participants are being educated and engaged and empowered. So how many people went to New York? You know what? Like especially visitor, tourists, the issue that they have whenever they go to New York is looking for restroom. And then you will be surprised. Actually now right? So I'm the one who created the New York restroom map in 2005, which is 17 years ago. I was visiting New York with my 3 daughters, and then we were having like extreme difficulty of finding bathroom. It was during the Christmas holiday. And then what I did was I ended up taking subway and go to Penn Station. Penn Station is like the largest, like the train station, like the Tokyo stations or New York, like the station, right? So I know that they have a lot of bathroom. So we use the bathroom there, restroom there, and then we came back, and then I realized that there gotta be a lot of bathroom available. So what I did was I create this website so people can share the information about where the restroom is. So it's still being used. And then I developed as an app. You would be surprised if you look at this map. It was developed in 2005. That's when Google Map started its service. So without Google Map being served, I wouldn't have resources to develop this kind of site. But smartphone and mobile phone, when is the first smartphone was developed and used? It was 2007, right? So we are not able to develop the smartphone version, but we are able to develop the smart version later. And so I was featured in New Yorker magazines and New York Times. So my people used to call me as a bathroom guy or a restroom guy. So I was interested in how to use this kind of mapping tool, for the public, like how to make it quickly and easy, and then can be customized and in sync. So I developed the platform called the Mapler. But this is, by the way, what I do at the Meheri. It's basically I'm looking at a lot of different factors of your environment, natural, built, and social, and policy data, and stressor data, and personal, like the gene, right, behaviors, and all those data, how it affects the individual health, right? And then how it creates the health disparity too. So this is what I did at the Rutgers, this is I guess 10 years ago too. But Rutgers is located in New Brunswick, New Jersey. So we did the mapping. So you use a smartphone and we map the safety of the street, right? And then, so by using smartphone app that I developed, right? These are my students. These are my students, and here I am. So we map all the safety issues of the campus. So you can say name and category, is it safe or not safe? How was the how bright it is? What reason for feeling of vulnerability, and comment and then take photo, right? And you finish even it's a huge campus, but we were able to finish within 2 hours just for the one of the main campus. So you can, once you upload the data, it customizes and it created this kind of dashboard. And then one of my students did, those safety might be related with the light. So by using smartphone, measure the actual the light, how bright it is, and then create the light index map. So your question is, hey, how come that the certain place is really bright, a certain place is dark if they have a street like the light? So you can actually look at it, all the street light. Just because there's a street light doesn't mean that it's working, right? So check whether it's working, not working, whether it's covered by the trees or all those factors. So all this data, without this data, you could still do campus safety mapping. I mean, campus safety the project, but by collecting this kind of data, you can, assess the current situation much better, and then you can actually make a plan and the prevention more effectively. And this is one more project. I did about actually 400 project in US, and also another 400 project in South Korea too. But this is IMSocio. I was working with Latino, Hispanic students in Franklin Township in New Brunswick, New Jersey. Actually, New Jersey, yeah. So we got together. Here is me, and then these are the students. And so I was trying to actually show them during the weekend how to help the community by using technology, how to meet friends, and then how to serve community too. So we map this safety right near the school, whether your pedestrian the road and street is safe, while your crosswalk is safe, whether traffic signal is working, whether they have can be accessed by using wheelchair and all those. So by using this, municipality can use this data to set the priority, and then they can set the budget. And then they can also assess the equity. At certain area you have more the broken street light and it's not being fixed. Certain area is always clean and then they always fix something. So you can look at the equity issues too. But one time I got a phone call from one of the students. He said, "Hey, Dr. Im," and then I said, "What?" And he said, "You remember the data that I put at the street, one of the sidewalk is broken? They are fixing it again, they are fixing it now." So I was impressed, and then students got really excited because he just put the data by using smartphone, and then realized it. Wow, if I do something, I can really change my community, right? So he's not just learning about the safety, about the sidewalk and crosswalk, but by participating in this kind of event, he got empowered in a way. Wow, if I do something, I can really change my community. So I will do it again, and then he actually brought more students too. So these are the data, and then you have to learn all those variables, right? And then I have this video of the Abel Palomo, but basically what he was saying was he didn't really expect a lot, but after he participated, he become a new person because he didn't realize it that whatever he's doing is really helping community, and he got super excited. And unfortunately, he got killed by the traffic accident, right after that we took the video. And so this event affects me a lot, because by doing this community mapping project, it's not just try to find out issues about community and then make the better place, but I find out that it actually helped the students, right, to find the meaning, and then they got empowered, they have confidence, right? So this Abel Palomo, the guy that I showed the video, actually he mentioned that he become a new person after the event. That's why I kind of started community mapping, more, even in Korea. And then I did the community mapping in Tokyo, to mapping all the food aid place for the homeless people in Tokyo, and then I did project for the other country. So this is another video, right? And then we did with other students, we mapped the near the elementary school. Here is me, and then there's a small creek, like the stream, and then we find out there's a lot of garbages, like the mattress and abandoned tires, all those garbage, and then everybody was bitten by mosquito. So we kind of retreat a little earlier, and then I wanted to really give them good experience about doing community mapping. However, students through the Facebook, they were saying, wow, in a way you and I never experienced before. I said, we clean this place. Who's with me? I don't think you guys would like to clean it, but it would help if we try. And then they clean this. I was really surprised. So it's not really education and empowerment and then engagement, but they actually change their behaviors, and then they organize, and then they clean the community. And then after that, in 2012, we have the Hurricane Sandy. I don't know whether you guys remember. It's a hurricane that come once every 300 years. So nobody really prepared. This is near my home. I used to live in Princeton, New Jersey. So everything got really the damage and burn. So 70 to 80% of the area lost the electricity, and then road get all closed and all those. So they had an issue of the gas station, because gas station, they couldn't pump the gas, and then road was blocked. So they tried to get the electricity. So there's a long line for the gas station. Everybody got upset because it almost most of the gas station got closed. So what we did with those students, those Latino students, we actually create a map of the gas station which is open and then closed, and then when it's going to open, and then charging station and all those. So it was used for the FEMA, Federal Emergency Management Agency. So they use our map. It's also being used by the Google. Google have a crisis map team, so they use our map, and even Department of Energy, that they create the emergency call center. They were using our map, and then actually they answer any phone call. People are looking for the gas station too. So we are featured in the New York Times and WNYC, TV and radio, because the number one keyword search on the internet at the time was a gas station, right? And so this is Department of Energy website. How they put our my students and me on here. And then Google did a presentation after Hurricane Sandy. The MapLoader tool that I created, right, was one of the best tool that is kind of available for the emergency management. So another project that we did was the Zika virus in North Nashville. What we did was we tried to map the mosquito breeding site, right? In which caused an issues of the Zika virus, and then students did all like they took the class, and then they actually mapped all the mosquito breeding site. So kids got really excited, mapping, finding out mosquito breeding site, how to remove those sites, so you can reduce the number of the mosquito to prevent the Zika virus spreading. These are the students. So students' response, my experience was really fun because we got to go around, we got to see all the things, we could stop to make sure that the breeding of mosquitoes and Zika virus doesn't spread, right? And I just want to show this one. What did you think about the event? A lot of fun, but despite they took a lot of class before, how much did you know about the Zika virus before today's event? They said knew a little and knew well. It's very like one person, right? And then didn't know. But after the community mapping event, they said learned a lot, learned a little, like didn't learn. So basically this tells that how students are learning much more, right? Doing this kind of project-based learning, especially doing the community mapping, right? So it's a similar thing. How much did you know about the mosquito breeding site? Knew a little, knew well. This is before the community mapping event, and then this is the after community mapping event too. So you may see this cone of learning, right? Students learn 10% based on what they read, right? But 90% of students learn how you say and how you do, right? So community mapping is really effective tool, right? To collect data, experience about the, like the citizen science. And then also from the process, you can learn about the subject. You can, by doing engaging, right? And you collect a lot of data, and then you can actually, identify issues of the community, and then you can find out a lot of different solutions. And then also doing this process, you can be really empowered. I try to really explain like within the short time about the community mapping. If you are interested in more, you can contact me. There's an email, or you can type community mapping in Google.